Hey, if you want to hear a more calm version, if you want to hear a more calm version of everything, and you really want to see the breakdown where I get the chance to break everything down, go to YouTube, Revelations 2020, King U exposes the game from prison. Or you can check out one of my mans who he gets masked up and all that, and he makes one called The War for King U on YouTube. Okay, now there you're gonna see a nice peaceful breakdown and everything. Right now I'm hurt. My people are hurt. You know what I'm saying? The standard that they're using does not apply. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, let me finish this right here. Okay, right here, this knee injury, that's for me being beat down to my knee. You understand what I'm saying? I'm bouncing on my knee, standing up, fighting to stand up, fighting multiple people, and I get knocked down and I get back up. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the evidence of that. Okay. Now, this right here is evidence that not only was I cut, but also I was grabbed and my shirt was ripped, the buttons are popped and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is evidence of, you know what I'm saying, me, you know what I'm saying, defending myself, getting cut, you know what I'm saying, by the weapons and stuff like that. That you're gonna see also evidence that I used my fist initially, and people were getting punched, and this is how my hands got damaged. You know what I'm saying? As far as punching people and stuff like that, you're gonna see this. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see numerous cuts. Like I said, I was cut 6 times. You know. I'm just giving you a little breakdown. I was cut 6 times. I got stitched up in the county jail. They took these dudes to the hospital, and all of them were felons. You know what I'm saying? All of them were felons. I was the smallest dude in the fight. I weighed 168 pounds at that time. You know what I'm saying? I had got to 217 back here, but I'm about 200 right now. Then I was a real small dude, 168. Okay, so I'm dealing with 5 dudes bigger than me, and I'm defending myself and my girl. Now they took them to the hospital to get stitched up, but they took me to the county jail, and the doctor in the county jail actually said to me, "It looks like you've been attacked by dogs." Was you attacked by dogs? I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really get a chance to look at myself, but I was in bad shape. Okay, so these are injuries right here that you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see something right quick. Okay, like I said, I've been showing that there's a lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Subject matter jurisdiction, why? Because of the simple fact that no complaint was filed. Okay, the documents that they presented as a complaint do not qualify as documents that the court could view as evidence because they were not notarized or sworn to under oath by someone authorized to administer oaths, like the so-called affidavit. Okay, so that means that the court's purpose is to mediate disputes between 2 parties, whether it's the state and a person or 2 people or so forth like that. That's their job, that's their purpose, to interpret the law for you and to mediate disputes. Now, there is no dispute if there's no complaint filed. There's no dispute that the court can legally recognize to have to take jurisdiction of the subject matter. Okay. Now the paperwork that they did use are fraudulent. Now the purpose of the difference between fraud, I have a 4-year time limitation. If you don't bring it up in 4 years, you know what I'm saying, the court's not going to review it. But fraud on the court now, fraud on the court is when the fraud affects the integrity of the court. And this is why I say release me, because of the simple fact that you need to save the integrity of this court system. Okay, there's no way that all these people, I got thousands of people now rooting for me and overseas, and a lot of Americans, but not enough, because of the simple fact that everything seems to be getting hacked and so forth. This is very deep. I haven't gotten letters, mail, and stuff like that. I got a website that was viewed over 1 million times. I never got 1 letter pertaining to it. Okay, I got a homegirl who I found out wrote me 15 times, and I never got 1 letter. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to tell you, that it's a conspiracy to oppress me. Okay, to oppress me, and they really want to get away, do away with me. But I put advertisements in Don Diva magazine in 2013, 2018 National Enquirer, 2020 I was on the cover of Florida Star newspaper out of Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, I've been promoting this case, and I do have a little bit of support. I got over 1,000 signatures, about 1,500 signatures of people, you know what I'm saying, who's signing, stating that they're witnesses to the civil rights violations and the violations of due process based on the public records. Okay, because all of this stuff is a matter of public record. Check it out. Let me show you something first. So you understand what I'm saying about fraud in the court. Okay. Fraud on the court. In a judicial proceeding, a lawyer or party's misconduct so serious that it undermines or is intended to undermine the integrity of the proceeding. Okay, check it out. Then now, let me show you something else. An affidavit. An affidavit. By definition, an affidavit is a voluntary declaration of facts written down and sworn to by the declarant before an officer authorized to administer oaths, such as a notary public. Could be a judge, could be a clerk, stuff like that, man. But it can't just be a police officer. Police officers do not have that authority. Okay? Now, right here, I'm going to say, like I said, fraud on the court is a special standard. Okay? Now, right here, you see Rule 60, and this is the federal civil rules of court. Okay? Now, civil rules. Okay? Now, basically, that means it's a civil right. Now, every state has its own duplication of this in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this. Man, Rule 60, we're gonna see that this is telling you the grounds for relief, man. But then it says that time and in effect, it says these must be made within a reasonable time for reasons 1, 2, 3, no more than a year after the entry of the judgment. Okay, but we're gonna go to Rule 60D, and then that's other powers to grant relief. This rule does not limit a court's power to, and we're going to go to number 3, set aside a judgment for fraud on the court. So when they say that there's nothing they could do because of the time that's passed in my case, that's a fraudulent, that's a false standard of law. Okay, so they're denying me a civil right in that alone. I'm being denied a civil right by the Civil Rights Department, okay, of the Department of Justice, if they try to uphold to that and not respect the appeal that's being set for. The appeal was mailed out today. Today is March 1st, okay, 2022, okay. Now, as I said, an affidavit is a statement of facts sworn to before someone authorized to administer oaths, okay. Now, bam, check it out. This right here actually says charging affidavit, and this is pertaining to my case. Okay, this was put out then. If you notice, you're gonna see that there's no notary over here. It's a Corporal DeWanna Pelton. I guess that's one of the officers, because I did see her interrogation of one of the witnesses. Okay, this is Detective David Felon. He's actually an African American or Haitian a detective. Okay, from what I understand, he's no longer a detective. I think he lost that rank somewhere. But either way, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office narrative, which they're calling the complaint as well. Okay, if you look at the bottom here, you'll notice that it's not notarized either. So therefore, this is an irrelevant piece of paper. Okay, and so irrelevant that the court recognized it. The clerk of the court, when she first got it, and I'm gonna show you 2 different dockets. Okay, now this docket right here, if you notice, all of the dates are backwards. It's going from the newest down. So I have to go to the back page to show you the beginning. And I think that's a sign. I think that means, like, screw them over or something like that, because most people don't have their cases like that. I think it's a sign to other attorneys or whatever in the know. I actually have a friend who's a supervising paralegal, and she said that when she was looking at my case, all the lawyers started coming to her desk and said, "What you looking at?" Because all kind of fire alarms are going on. They got some kind of fire alarms going off when my case comes up. Okay, all right. It says complaint filed, 10/25/06, none. Okay, the incident happened about 2 o'clock in the morning, so it was like the night of the 24th. But it is 10/25/06, complaint filed, none. So how are we proceeding in this manner when no complaint was filed? Okay, and I just demonstrated, because I showed you the paperwork that the court does not recognize as, and I'm going to show you another document, just so you know that this is legitimate, that they've been doing this. This is, and I believe this was printed in 2007. You'll see, you can barely see it, but this was printed in 2007. This is 10 years later, and it still says the same thing, so we know what I'm dealing with. Okay, this right here is irrelevant. I don't know why it's part of the page, because my case didn't happen till the 25th, right? But it says complaint filed, none. Okay, it still says that. Okay, this is in 2017. This copy of the docket. Okay, and everything is backwards. and this is why you've seen it like that. Everything's going backwards. Most cases, you're going to be able to view them and understand them. For mine, you have to go to the back of the case to get to it. Okay? Now, what I was saying is, man, I don't know, man, but there's Meek Mills doing his thing. You got Kim Kardashian. You got Kanye West. You got all these people of influence out there. Man, step up to the plate, bro. Step up to the plate. Don't let this thing go. This right here is magnificent for the cause. Okay? I don't know anybody with more errors in their case than mine. Okay? All the laws and all the evidence is on my side. The only thing that's not on my side is the law enforcement. Okay? Check it out. Let me show you something. All right? Oh shit, I got this paperwork all mixed up. What's up?
Yo.
Alright, check it. Right now, we're looking at the police statements of Justin Idell. Okay, as you can see, he says he was a floor man, he's security, okay, at the club, okay? Now, these things never make it. These things.
I'll take that all that. Let's get something to this guy.
Alright, like I said, we're talking about Justin Idell, the security for the club, okay? You know what I'm saying? This is what he says. I'm just telling you, this stuff never makes it really to the courtroom, okay? I mean, as part of the record. They take it out the record, okay? He says basically, they said that I had to walk out with security because basically like I was scared or something. I didn't take it as that. They said you and your girl need security. Okay, you and your girl need security to walk you or something like that. There was no security around us, and I took it as a compliment, just saying I got a bad chick with me. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like waved at him. You know what I'm saying? But he says as if I was already in the car when that happened, and he said we didn't walk him out in particular. You know what I'm saying? They basically do this because they're trying to say they protecting the females because we was at a strip club. Okay, this is all involved in the fact that people didn't like the way me and my girl was macking in the strip club. Okay, and we were African American in a strip club that was, where we were the only full African Americans. Okay, now at which time the guy got out the vehicle and then he says basically that I yelled back, I didn't need nobody to back me up. Okay, I mean that's not a crime for me to say I don't need nobody to back me up, but I guess it was meant to make me look like something because I don't remember saying it. Sounds like something I would say, but I don't remember saying it. And if I did, I might have said it playing around, but it's not something I remember. Okay, at which time he says that we need to get back in the car. Another guy started yelling back across the parking lot, and then he said at that time the guys ran towards each other and started fighting. When you say ran towards each other, so they met between the vehicles, yeah. Okay, when you say you're talking about the 4 gentlemen. Okay, actually there was 5. One of them seems to be young, and I think they're protecting them. So everywhere we go, they're talking about only 4. And one of them, he really couldn't fit into the fight, but he was there to obstruct me and my path of exiting the fight or getting to my girlfriend to protect her. Okay, anyway, so there was 5 guys. Okay, the black male. Okay, from the other vehicle. Okay, yes. Okay. You recall, okay, what I was doing. They said it was a fist fight, And did the female get involved? As the fight progressed, the other gentlemen began to join in and fight, and everybody was throwing punches back and forth. The girl actually got out of the vehicle and started screaming, throwing punches as well, and slaps and jumping on. I think she even jumped on one of the guy's backs, and then when it looked like punches, the guy came out the driver's vehicle with the female, and the head came out and hit one of the guys in the chest, which that time, the guy grabbed his chest and stepped back, and from the experience, at that point, there was something more than the fist that the guy had, and the other guy started joining in, and you could tell that he was down on the ground surrounded by gentlemen and clearly stabbing at random. Okay, what I used was a 3.5-inch pocket knife, which is legal, and it's been returned to me by the police all the time, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I had been searched by them or asked if I had anything on me, okay? The first one he could get a hold of, and then, okay, basically this is what he's saying. So you see that I was down, and you see the evidence with my knee, the injury to my knee. Now, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show you what the other security, this guy doesn't even come and testify, okay? They don't even put this in the record. None of this is in the record. But this guy doesn't even come and testify. He's not even called to testify. And he's very exculpatory in his evidence that he provides for me, okay? So he says, they're clearing the parking lot out, so, they were already outside. You see that you're talking about the group of 5, the 4 gentlemen and a female. Okay, now he's saying it as if there was 3 of them and 2 of us, okay? And I guess they were looking at each other, and basically the group on one side, the black dude was on the other side, okay? Basically, I guess they were looking at each other. I don't know, he's saying that he doesn't really know what was transpired, okay? and really wasn't paying attention to words, you know. And man, he's talking about where it started, and to the left. It started all the way to the left, you know what I'm saying, of the 300, which was where the Acura was parked, which was my Acura. They basically, when they all came out, they started on the right side and they moved all the way to the left, okay, then back to the right. But the CSI explained that the trail of blood was from one car to indicate that the other car was parked 6 parking spaces apart. Each parking space is 10 feet wide, that makes it 60 feet. Okay, so they had to travel 60 feet because my car got a dent in it that they say occurred during the fight. Also, the blood spatter evidence on my car made CSI say that they believe that the car happened at the rear passenger side. The fight happened at the rear passenger side of my vehicle. Okay, say between the two of them, he clarified they're all swinging punching. And like a punch to this one guy, a punch to this other guy, just in circles, you know, just all hitting each other. Which there's only one guy that all these guys are fighting, so that doesn't make sense. But he's letting you know that they were all involved and it was not a one-on-one fight. Okay, and then me and Justin, he's talking about Justin Idell, we told him, you know, stop the fight and break it up. And then they didn't listen. That's when we decided to go back inside. It's like too much. Okay, why is it too much? If there's 5 of them and there's 2 of y'all and there's 1 of me, that means there would be 7 on 1 to be able to subdue me. But no, it's the simple fact that it was 5 on one, and they knew that they supposed to take my side, so it would have been 5 on 3 if they'd have been on my side. And these dudes actually turned out to be regulars at the club. Okay, one of my adversaries in the fight, actually the one who's deceased, his father owned law firms, I believe. I was told, in several different states, and right now he's supposed to be an assistant law professor. So he has a lot of influence in that area. I mean, in that area of career. You know, lawyers, judges, stuff like that. So I'm really just gonna get shitted on everywhere I go unless I find somebody who's, you know what I'm saying, strong enough and has integrity on his own to do his job. Okay, it said, did you see anyone with the knife? No, that's when we were both back inside. When we came back, went outside to check and see if the fight was over. They went to see if the fight was over. They didn't want to had no parts of this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's when they saw the gentleman on the ground with the 3 stab wounds. Okay, so that's exculpatory evidence for the simple fact that he's saying that the knife was not thrown until that time until after they called the police. That means that actually when they called the police because of the simple fact that I was fighting 5 dudes. So if you calling the police because I'm fighting 5 dudes, that means you basically calling the police and they're supposed to help me. You understand what I'm saying? Now, after that, you're going to have another 911 tape probably when they find out somebody's been stabbed. Hey, we need an ambulance over here, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You know what they tell me when I want the 911 tape because I know it's exculpatory evidence? They say that they don't have them. They say there's a malfunction. This is beyond comprehension. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where do they do that? You know what I'm saying? You're telling me not only one 911 tape is missing, but 2 pertaining to my case. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. They don't even, they say that the proceedings, which I'm debating, I'm saying, man, y'all changed parts of this record. They're saying that that there's no audio recording or video recording of the trial. I was in the newspaper for this thing. You telling me you're not even going to record this thing? You know what it is? It's about the money. Okay, what I told them I was charging at that pre-trial hearing. Okay, check it out. Now, let me show you what the valet says. Okay, this is what the valet says. All right. Now, yeah, excuse me, I was in the middle of getting my hair cut and all this stuff, but it's an emergency that I get this stuff out here right now. Who knows what they're gonna do to me right now? All right, check it out. And I'm telling you, I need you guys. Any of you big law firms, you know what I'm saying? You want an opportunity to get a piece of this pie? You know what I'm saying? I'm explaining to you how I got this. I'm entitled to this money. You know what I'm saying? You know, help out with, you know, you philanthropists, whatever it is, man. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity to make a big difference in this country. Okay, this is going to help out a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? This is what they don't really want to happen. Okay, this right here is the valet. His name is Philip Westfall. This is the key witness for these for the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? Because they rely on him a lot, even though he has changed his testimony a lot. Okay, and he basically says, as your attention was turned to him, you know, what did you observe? I observed a female standing outside of the door of the passenger with great accuracy. She was yelling at a car about 6 spaces apart away. Now, let me tell you something. This did not occur. Her standing outside the car yelling did not occur until after the fight had initiated and at the ending. Okay, before that she was in the car. That's why the other guy says she got out the car. Okay, that's why I'm gonna tell you she was actually in the car. Okay, but this is the way he describes in the beginning. Says one of the gentlemen started walking over that vehicle. The driver of the female's vehicle came to out the driver's seat and around the back of the car. I wasn't fully inside the car. I had one leg in, one leg out because I was lighting the black a mile and the car door was open. She says, Daddy, one of them was walking over here. So I walked around the back of the car and I thought that we were going to have a conversation and I was going to show him I'm standing up duty and he's going to respect that and maybe we could find out what was going on for the night because the club's closed mighty early out there. They closed like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was looking to see if maybe I could. Actually, I really wanted to smoke a blunt. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no weed. I wanted something. You know, I wanted to meet somebody who could tell me how that. And I had some music. I was making music at that time. I had like 100 CDs. I wanted to promote my music. Anyway, punched him in the face. He said, met up with that gentleman, punched him in the face, and that guy went to the ground. Another one of the gentlemen came running over. He started fighting with that gentleman that she was with. She tried punching, kicking, and hitting that gentleman. All of a sudden, it was 4 guys fighting a couple. People were being hit, punched, kicked in every direction. I was screaming at them, break it up. Okay, that's bullshit. Nobody said anything. When it started to get this, okay, whatever, man. I don't want to hear all that. Anyway, people started ripping their shirts off and fighting with the gentleman. Didn't seem like he was punching people very hard, but all of a sudden, everybody was bloody. Somebody ran up and kicked the female in the back. She got up, and then the gentleman from the car, I witnessed the last guy that came over there. I witnessed the gentleman from the car kind of, okay, swinging outside his shoulder, man. Like I know you can't see it, okay, man. Anyway, man, I just want you to see what he's describing at this point, okay? You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that if somebody's coming in a hostile manner and I punch him, and even if I did punch him out of a criminal act, if I did, but I didn't, because that's not the way it went down. Eventually, at the trial, when they asked him who threw the first punch, he says he doesn't know. And they took that out the record, okay? But this is what he said. This is so crafty. I'm gonna break down how they even got the jury to find me, to convict me, based in spite of the standard ground law. Okay, I'm gonna break all that down. But check it out. This right here is important because this comes out to be the first guy in the fight. Like I said, they were all felons. This dude was actually on probation. He's going to tell the officers that he's out at the club, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's drunk and he's part of this fight. It's a brawl. It's a public brawl, and nobody gets arrested but me. Nobody gets arrested but me. Okay, check this out. Then, okay. He says he walked outside, walked to my car, a guy approached me about fighting. Where was your car? Okay, man. Okay, to the right side. Okay, you come. Okay, a fight broke out. Who was fighting? I don't know. That's the whole thing. I mean, I was involved in a fight. But it makes it seem like if I came up to him and was fighting him first, right? But he said, now did you see William Troy in the fight? Not even. What about Frank? Did you see Frank in the fight? I seen him fight, and I can't recognize who's fighting. You know, he's trying to cover up. He's like that. He really don't want to incriminate nobody, none of his boys. But I came to help. You see what I'm saying? So basically, he's saying that he didn't start the fight. The fight didn't initiate with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just helping a friend. Okay, when they say, okay, who's the person that stabbed you? I don't even know, man. Okay, so there's a fight. Did you see the? Okay, man. I think he's a black male. Okay, man. Let me see. I don't even remember seeing him. He's described me about 5'7", 5. I'm 5'11", 5'11" and a half. Been that height since I was 17. But even in this system, they took everybody that came through with me on the bus with me, and they made them 2 inches shorter. You know what I'm saying? And they made one dude who was 5'2", 8'6" on this thing. They do whatever the hell they want out here. These guys are so lazy. They can have a conviction and they'll still cut corners. Okay, I don't even remember really seeing him. That's the whole thing. It's like a blur. Now after the fight broke out, you ran over there, right, to help? Yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so he's saying that he only came to help. I don't even remember getting stabbed. That's how drunk. How I just drunk, bam. Okay, he's getting ready to say how drunk he was, but the police officer tries to save him. Or how fast he was, you think? Yeah, exactly. Bam. Why? They know they're dealing with somebody with money, and they got their eye on locking me up. Okay, bam. Okay. I didn't know I was stabbed, man. I'm trying. He's talking about the person who died. You see, he sees William Troy on the floor. He says, "I'm trying to stay with him so he can stay alive." And I realize I'm stabbed myself without even realizing I'm stabbed. Okay. I want you to take note of that because you're going throughout the case. There's no statement against me. Everybody's saying that they came to help a friend, and nobody's saying who started it, and nobody's allowing them to say that it was William Troy because that would be basically blasphemy on his name. He was the 3rd or 4th person in the fight because eventually it's going to come out that this dude Andre Blanco, whose police statement I just showed you, is going to admit that he was the first one in the fight. I guess his friend said, hey, we ain't gonna say we the first one in the fight, you gotta say that. Then, even though he was on probation, like I said, he never got locked up. And they're very strict on that in Florida. But in my case, they'd rather get me. Okay? Now, they treat me like I'm El Chapo or something. I don't know who the hell they think I am. You know what I'm saying? They got all kinds of misstatements of law and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, what happens is, this is the testimony that I'm being held on. These are the statements that I'm being held on. No, depositions, no sworn statements. Okay, nothing notarized. Okay, until December 22nd at the adversary preliminary hearing, when he says that what happened instead was that I drove right up to his car, jumped out, lunged at him, and stabbed him in the face. But he says he didn't see a knife and didn't know he was stabbed. Okay, if you say you didn't see a knife and didn't know you were stabbed at that time, and I'm saying that I stabbed you later on, okay, you can't really contest that. Okay, I was breaking down the stand your ground law in the beginning of that hearing because based on this right here. Okay, this right here is what you're going to see is a charge of information. The information on indictment is what the state files. What you saw at first was what the police file. The police file that, give it to the court, and the court gives it to the state, and the state says, okay, let me see if we're going to pick it up. So when they pick it up, they can pick it up with a indictment or information. Okay, now check this out. Now, this says that this information was filed, this would say 2006, November 20th at 4:37 p.m. Now, you see where it's stamped? Okay, I mailed this home to my people on December 16, 2007. And the purpose was because despite all these charges, okay, now this, I got acquitted of this charge because the gun was never used, okay? So this never comes up. These are all with the pocket knife, okay? Okay, the bottom line is, if you look at this document, this is what I had. It's not notarized. Nobody signed it. This is what I had for the first 2 years until I started to argue that my charge and information wasn't signed on appeal and through habeas corpus. I tried to bring it up during the adversary preliminary hearing on December 22nd. When I did that, the judge cut me off. I did not get a chance to actually bring this up. He said, don't say anything more. I was just quoting the stand your ground law, 776.013, section 3, okay, Florida statutes. That's where it existed in 2006. It's been revised a few times, as y'all know. You know what I'm saying, if y'all familiar with the stand your ground law. But what happens is, I tell my public defender on direct appeal about, okay, the evidence. I'm talking to him about all that evidence, and he says, hey, I can argue this thing where they have to release you, but you know they're not going to let you go. This is what the man has the audacity to tell me on the phone. So I'm like, what? Okay, yeah. I said, my charge and information, in a different conversation, I said, my charge and information isn't even signed. You know what he tells me? What if he signs it? What if he signs it? I snap. What are you talking about? What if he signs it? Hey, well, I'm on my constitutional rights. Next thing you know, I'm trying to fire him. He sends me a letter saying that I can't fire him. Okay, man. And when I do successfully fire him, he sends me this copy. Okay, as you can see, this is stamped the same date, 2006, November 20th, 4:30 p.m. in a different area from the one that I originally had that was filed. Okay, and he sends it with me with the records. Okay, man. Now everything is filled out. But I'm going to show you documentation where we let you know that this is fraudulent and backdated, even though they don't have jurisdiction based on the original parts of the case where Judge Brewer, who was my first appearance judge in Orange County in the 9th Judicial Circuit, he accepted this paperwork and held me with no bail. You know what I'm saying? This right here is an adversary preliminary hearing where I'm talking about. That's with a judge, Stan Strickland. This judge in particular, actually later on, years down the line, I heard that he resigned amongst accusations of dealing and fraternizing with witnesses because he actually went to the hospital and to see a witness, and that was in one of his cases. You know what I'm saying? He's working somewhere else now, but this is what I'm dealing with. Hold it for 1 second. These are parts of the adversary preliminary hearing. And in the adversary preliminary hearing, actually the officer, Deputy Herbert Mercado, who asked me to step out of my car, he refers me to the He refers to me as the victim twice, okay? I'm a little excited and I'm rushing, you know what I'm saying? I'm in an environment where this is what I'm doing is, you know what I'm saying, considered to be illegal, even though I retain that I have all my rights because they never had jurisdiction and everything that they've done is fraudulent, okay? As I'm demonstrating that the evidence that they portray to be evidence is based on a fraudulent standard they can't hold that, you know, okay? Matter of fact, this Judge Strickland, who was my judge up until my trial, he actually said that, you know, he finds that I'm the one involved and that's enough for him to hold me, even though nobody brought up testimony as far as a murder. Nobody brought up testimony to support count 1 or 2 or 4 or 5. Nobody brought up any evidence. Nobody even said anything about those issues. The only thing was Andre Blanco. Okay, but let me tell you what this same valet, Philip Westford, that I showed you before says. Okay, check it out. Man. But he's talking about the distance between where the Hispanic male walked and the distance between where I walked and stuff like that. That's just something you might want to look at. I'm not sure if it's really, I don't really view that as too relevant, okay, because we already established that. So he says that we were walking up to each other all huffy, no hands up, no fist up, or nothing like that, but he knew it was going to be a fight. He was approaching him, and it was looking like they were going to have a fight. So he's talking about the dude is approaching me, and it's looking like we're going to have a fight. And then the black male swung and hit him, and instantly he caught himself on the floor. Okay, he says he didn't hit the ground. Before he says he hit the ground. Okay, man. Now it says after the Hispanic male got hit, did the three Hispanics, what did they do? The second one approached. Okay, singly. Now he's changed his testimony, so everybody's approaching one at a time now. He did what? The second one approached singly. He's stressing that now. Okay, what did he do? He swung at the black male twice, missed, and then the black male hit him. Okay, now this is I would have every right to do. Okay, so the second Hispanic male, did you see how? Okay, he was saying drunken roundhouses, or he'd been trying to punch me before he got hit, yeah. And then what was the female doing? As the third guy approached, she attacked him. Okay, so the female was trying to ward off the third person coming up. Yes. Okay, and tell me what happened. Okay, blah blah blah. She was trying to kick and hit him. Blah blah blah. Okay, we're gonna go on. We're gonna move on. Okay, but let's get to the part, the basics. Okay. He says, to be honest, there's so much going on right there. I'm not exactly positive. Okay, he said, I think I focused back on the black male fighting the first gentleman. He was fighting very well, and the guys would approach him. He knocked them back real quick. Okay, then another guy would come at him, and he knocked them back real quick. Okay, but these guys kept coming, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm talking about Hispanic males. Yes, ma'am. Okay, they kept approaching the black male. Yes, ma'am. Okay, and they kept trying to fight him as well. Yes, ma'am. And they were trying to swing punch the black male. Okay, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let me move on a little bit to this part because this is very important. Okay, no, I just want to know any type of interaction between the guy who eventually died and the black gentleman. Did you see them fight at all? Yes, he was coming after the black gentleman, and to be honest, I do believe I saw the 2 punches in the chest that made the wounds. He hit him twice in the chest, and then he spun off that way, off to the left, and went behind me. The other gentleman, right, instantly came from kind of the passenger door where the female was after him. He hit him with the right hook, what looked to me to be a right hook in the face, and he spun off back in the other direction. And then that's when I started seeing all the blood. So basically, you're telling me that these guys are testifying that these guys are coming at me. Your witnesses are saying that the guy who died was coming at me. Okay, another guy came from the passenger side where my girl was, so you know that they were going after my girl. You understand what I'm saying? So then he saw that they couldn't handle me, so he came to try to help. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this level of corruption. Okay, they kept me in prison for 15 years. They still keeping me here. I went to the Florida Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court twice. Okay, the United States Supreme Court decided, okay, they wasn't going to review my case. You know, they got thousands of cases coming, and there's only 11 of them to do the whole country. That's understandable. Florida Supreme Court is kind of busy, but you got all these courts in between, you know what I'm saying, that could do something, and you know what they're doing? They're rubber stamping my case, okay? They don't even tell the state to respond to habeas corpuses, okay? Now, when you get to the trial, okay, it was based on these statements, though. and this paperwork that inspired me on January 17th to say, hey man, listen, I'm charging $350,000 a day until y'all release me. Y'all don't got no evidence, no law supporting what y'all doing. Man, I'm thinking that they're gonna let me go. Oh snap, he's getting ready to charge us some money. We really know we can't bluff this guy. Let's get him out of here. Man, I got 3 kids. I wanted $100,000 for each of them and their college funds and stuff, and $50,000 for me to get back on my feet because that little time that I was locked up in the county jail tore me up. You know what I'm saying? Financially, okay. I lost my beamer, I lost my act, I lost everything, I lost my girl, I lost everything, okay. Then, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get back on my feet. That was it, okay. I didn't think that was gonna snowball into $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? Into $2 billion. I didn't think that this was gonna happen. I added $1 million at the sentencing, okay, per day, okay. Now there's a case called Tresvant versus City of Tampa, and in this case, the officers pulled over this guy, I guess on his motorcycle or whatever, and they locked him up for 23 minutes. And the judge decided, when he argued about finances, that it was reasonable for him to charge $25,000 for them holding him for that time. Okay, that's the equivalent of $1.4 million a day. I came short of that by charging the $350,000 and the $1 million, whatever, man, that to $1.35 million a day. So it's not unreasonable what I'm saying. Okay, this is not my fault. Okay, all I want to do is make sure that this country learns a lesson from this era and starts doing things better. That's more beneficial to the country as a whole. But these guys have to learn a lesson. These good old boys have to learn a lesson as far as their place under the law. They're not above the law. Okay? Hold on for 1 second.